excuses.
G major, we major, now let's go stupid. Stomping a hole in the stage, back up us, so go through it. How you gon' say you are just like us, but cannot do this? You and the players in your whole team, they are so useless, they useless.
It's a major. Hey everyone. This is a little strange for me. It's 6:56 a.m. and this is the first words I've spoken of the day. But I figure stop putting things off and get this thing going. So welcome to the MAJORMOOD Podcast. This is episode 1. It's definitely, been something I've wanted to do for a while, and I'm excited to share my thoughts and my ideas and some of my deepest secrets and vulnerabilities with you. This episode is called The Archives, and it's inspired by the fact that this past September, most of you probably know me who would be listening to this episode, at least the first episode, as G major, I'm a rapper. I've performed internationally. I'm oftentimes back and forth between New York City and London. I do hip hop and a UK style of music called grime. And I've been in the industry for over 12 years now, and just started coming into myself, believe it or not. So this is a different way for me to express myself, and like I said, this episode's called The Archives, and the reason behind that is this past September, I archived my Instagram. So what is it now? It's January. It's been about 4 months, and I don't have any specific plans on posting again soon, but if I was to, it would probably be for this podcast. It's been a huge relief since I've, taken down all my posts, and I thought about what that means to me and what just the word archives means to me, right? So I was I am a big video game head, but I haven't played in a while, I can admit that, but I have a deep love for video games. And when I was a kid, I used to play, James Bond, GoldenEye, 007. And one of my favorite missions was the archives. And I remember liking the word, and so I think I looked it up. I also didn't know how to pronounce it, and I didn't know if it was archives or archives, but I think it's archives. And I think that the reason I liked that mission so much is once I knew what the word meant is, there was always all these like old books and files as you go through the level. There was all these filing cabinets, and you were kind of hiding behind them. And, I realized that the entire meaning behind archives is like these old documents that have like sources and facts and, the historical take on all these different happenings. And I thought of that, of why Instagram says to archive your post. And I think for me, I was so attached, and not in a bad way. I've done some crazy shit. I've performed in Croatia. I've, been to London 3 times. I moved there for a short period last year. Most of my career has taken off overseas, and I love promoting that stuff. I'm very proud of it. And I've done some really risky things. I perform in a genre that's mostly men and very hard to get a hold of the mic. And and yeah, I just realized that I needed to make a change in my life when I got back from living in London. I had ran through all of my money while I was out there. I was living for a dream. I had a goal. My goal was to go out there and to release my album. I accomplished my goal. It got a lot of coverage. It was one of the most amazing things I've ever done. And I have like so many supporters out there. It was beautiful. But I realized something while I was out there. I realized that my entire plan was to invest money into myself, hoping that one day I would, that the hard work would pay off and I would blow up. But like, I started thinking about what is the hard work? What was it that I was actually doing? And what I was doing was I was, incessantly writing songs, recording them, shooting music videos, doing intense amounts of outreach. I mean, like, talk about needing a manager. If you could split me in half, that's what I was doing. I was managing and releasing, which a lot of artists are doing right now, but I consider myself to be pretty good at it. I'm very proud of where I've got, based off my own work ethic. I've worked endless hours, and I'm sure many people who know me can attest to that. And I'm, thankful that I have skills in writing and outreach and email communication. And, I have some things, I've realized recently I have some skills that other creatives, not that they don't have, it's just like, and I don't blame them, they just don't want to do it. And I'm at a point where I don't want to either, to be totally honest, but I am. I realized that while I had maybe the foundation to be an artist, I didn't have the foundation to be a business person, which is most important. I wasn't looking at my ROI, my return on investment, and I really was not foolishly, God, I'm so, like I said, I'm so proud of myself for believing in myself so much to invest the amount of money I did in myself, all made by myself. I've worked a full-time job for many, many years, and was balancing a full-time job with a full-time artistry. But I realized that I could do better. I could be smarter. There's things I don't know. I realized I need help. And I realized parts of the industry that I just didn't totally resonate with my soul. I was working with a PR company. They were great. It was cool, but I wasn't getting the actual results that I thought that these things would get me. And I realized it was my mindset. So, while I was in London, I spent a large portion of my money, if not all of it, and came back home to realize, wow, you are 32 years old. And maybe I was 31 at the time. You're 31 years old. And you're in this position where you're either going to need to go back to work again to fund your career. And I knew I needed a change right there, because I'm too smart and I'm too capable to work for anyone else. And I knew that I needed to detach from my old way of thinking. And one of the moves I made in order to do that was to archive my Instagram, to say, you know what? I'm going to be bigger and better than all my accomplishments, because these accomplishments, going back to video games, right? When you play 007, when you play James Bond, you have different options as to what difficulty level you play it on. I forget exactly what the highest difficulty is, but I think it might be a double agent. And I realized that I was born with these talents, right? I have a natural talent to writing. I have a natural talent to, communication. I'm a Gemini, so that usually comes easy with us. I'm naturally driven. These are all things that God gave me, right? So if I was given these things, and these are the things I'm using, am I playing this game of life on hard, or am I playing it on easy? To me, I had been playing life on easy because these are things I had, It's like you don't give someone credit, or you can give someone credit for their work, but like if someone was given something and blessed with something, it's really about the things they do with what they weren't given and weren't blessed with, and those moves. And so I hope I'm saying this correctly, but to me, I've been playing the video game of life on easy. Even if people say, wow, you've done all these things, like to me, those things weren't that difficult. Like I just set a plan in my head, okay? You want to go perform in Croatia? You got invited to Croatia, you make this much money, you fly yourself out there, you make it fucking happen, right? Or you want to plan a tour in London. Okay, what are your connects in London? Like, so, these things might seem difficult to some people, but sometimes it's as simple as just doing them. No one's going to do it for you. So I was sick of playing the game of life on easy. And so me archiving my Instagram was a moment for me to say, hey, all those things that you're attached to, all those posts, all those likes, all those videos, which are still available on my website, by the way, if you want to check them out. They're not totally gone, all those things that you were looking for outside validation for, that's easy. Why don't you do something hard? Why don't you read a couple books? Why don't you talk to some mentors who know a little bit more than you? Why don't you learn about the future, Web3, NFTs? Why don't you challenge yourself? Why don't you learn about business? Why don't you really figure out what you need to do to sustain the things you love? And I love music. I love rapping. I love hip hop more than anything. I love being on stage. I can't get off the mic. I've tried, I haven't even recorded a song in 6 months. Well, that's a lie. The last couple of weeks I recorded a couple songs, but I don't know what I'm doing with them. But you can't keep me off the stage. You can't. I was working an event 2 months ago as a stage manager, and I remember I was looking at my friend Y, and he's the producer of the event, an amazing person. Why not show love? And I looked at him and I was like, yo, I'm supposed to be working. I go, can I jump up there? He's like, yeah, fucking go for it. I'm like, all right, because I'm getting fidgety right now. Like, I'm working stage manager, but I'm like, I see that mic and I want that. So I know that that's me 100%. But I know there's other parts of me that I need to dig deeper into. I know I'm more powerful than I think I am. And I know that I'm ready to play the video game of life on hard because, the risk you take is pretty equivalent to the blessings you'll receive. And I'm ready to take bigger risks. And this podcast is a risk for me, It's not really a risk. It's actually the next stage in my life of me being open about who I am and my thoughts. And my past is my past, and I'm ready for the future. And I'm proud of everything I've done. But for right now, I'm going to leave them in the archives. Yeah, for right now. Nothing can take away what I've done, but I want to be known for my next steps. There was an interview with Muhammad Ali, and I think I could be butchering this. The interviewer asked him, how many sit-ups can you do? Or maybe he said push-ups. And Muhammad Ali said, I don't know. I don't start counting until I can't go anymore. So he doesn't even start counting his sit-ups or push-ups until he's at the end of his rope, because the amount that he counts only matter after you feel like you can't go any further. And I hope that makes sense, but I'm not counting the things I've done while I was playing the game of life on easy. I'm gonna count moving forward the game of life as I play on hard. I'm not sure I ever beat 007 on hard. I think I probably played it on medium. So I've been teetering between easy and medium. I'm ready to play on hard. And until then, like I said, everything else gets left in the archives, and maybe later in life, once I get to everywhere I've been planning on going, we could dig that stuff up and look back and say, hey, that was beautiful. Look where I am now. But yeah, I thank you for listening, and this is episode 1 of the Major Mood Podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a blessed day. 7 a.m. Let's go.